All right, guys, welcome to Astro Bootcamp. This is training video number 2. And today we're really focusing just on one thing, which is the elements. And in the first video, we discovered that the zodiac is created from the elements plus the modes. So we don't want to overwhelm ourselves with too much information that commonly happens in astrology. So today it's really just going to be about these elements. And what we're going to do is we're going to dive deeply into fire, earth, air, and water. And what I want to invite you to do is to really take a minute to really kind of calm yourself and focus and center. Because the elements are really about a feeling, and it's really about tapping into a place within you that already knows about these elements, right? And so that's what I'm going to keep bringing you back to over and over again, so that you already know so much about the elements, which means you also know a lot about astrology. So let's dive straight into fire. Now, if you were to imagine your experience with fire, you're probably going to bring up words like warm. You're probably going to bring up words like passion. They had a fire in their eye. You're going to start thinking and brainstorming over how fire works in the physical world, right? It's actually very useful, but also can be a little bit dangerous, yeah? We use it for cooking food, we use it for keeping warm, but at the same time, wow, if something catches fire, it can take over. It can be really hard to control, right? It definitely is one of the most powerful elements and one of the most creative. And these are going to be all words that describe what fire is. But even deep within you, I want you to know that there is a feeling to this. Because in astrology, you'll have the element fire, and that's going to associate back to 3 signs. So every element always has 3 signs that it's connected to. Deeply. So this is how you get to learn the 12 signs so easily. So that's going to be fire. Now, earth, let's really connect in with that. Now, when people envision the earth, or that they're standing on the ground, or they're in the forest, first words that tend to come up are grounded, nature, right? And the thing about nature is there's this sense of responsibility. Everything kind of relies on something else, right, in nature. There's a consistency. The sun is rising, the sun is setting. You're getting all of this very, very great understanding of the earth energy, even just like thinking about your day. There's a goal-oriented nature to earth, and as you can see, as you look around you, like everything seems to be growing, right, towards something. Everything has a purpose. And that is that earth element. And once again, the earth is going to have 3 signs. And water. Let's move to water. So earth and water are very kindred. I want you to keep this in mind, just as fire and air are going to be. But water, imagine it. Imagine you're swimming right now. It's very fluid. It's very flexible. There are no boundaries, are there, with water? Not really. Kind of can just go anywhere. This is what makes water one of the most psychic elements in the zodiac. And the most curious thing about water is that even though it's very soft, even though it seems like it would be the softest, it's actually one of the most strong elements. It can wear away at just about anything and connect to anything. It is, we're made of water. It's very empathetic, and it's definitely it has a lot of feelings, okay? And now air. Let's move into that feeling you get when you think about air. Well, it's free. It definitely wants to be free. It doesn't want to be trapped at all. It has a beautiful perspective. It has great height, right? It's kind of everywhere, seeing everything. It is very much necessary for survival, right? It's definitely all about creating life. And it is very much of all the elements, one that can see big patterns. It really has just like a totally different view than everything else. So these are the elements. And as you begin to interact with and understand how the elements work, everything else kind of just begins to make more sense. So we're going to go back and look at kind of a regular chart, okay? All right, so now you guys are really, really beginning to see kind of how those 4 elements are coming together. Now, as I said, each of the elements has 3 signs. So fire is going to be Aries, and Leo, and Sagittarius. And then each of these has a mode attached to it. And that's how the elements are going to begin to express differently in the physical world. So Aries has the cardinal, Leo has the fixed, and Sagittarius has that mutable energy. And this is going to be that same pattern again and again, right? So now we're going to look at the 3 signs associated with Earth. We have Taurus, we have Virgo, and we have Capricorn. Once again, we get to see their 3 different expressions: fixed, mutable, cardinal. And the same is going for the air. So for the air signs, we have Gemini, we have Libra, and we have Aquarius. Once again, we're getting the 3 expressions: the mutable, the cardinal, and the fixed. And to finish it off, we have the water signs. So we have Cancer, we have Scorpio, and we have Pisces. Cancer being the cardinal, this being the fixed, Scorpio, and Pisces being the mutable. So these patterns are just everywhere in astrology. Now you really get a good understanding of the 4 elements, what they mean. I want you to really focus in. You know what your sun sign is already, which means you know what your element is. Go ahead and take a minute, to kind of digest that, to think about it a little bit and see how that has connected with your life. We will be diving into the modes in the next Astro Bootcamp video, but for now, really, really, really continue to kind of hone this skill and understanding, and know that more than anything, it is a feeling, and this is all knowledge that you really do have deep within you. All right, catch you in the next video. Bye.